What's going on, Giants fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video, and I wanted to take a few days to digest this loss, but this will be a brief recap on the Thursday Night Football defeat to the San Francisco 49ers, just a little bit on Week 3, what I took away from it personally. But first and foremost, folks, before you check that out, make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate all of your lovely support. And let's get into our Week 3 recap. So the Giants fall 30-12 on Thursday Night Football. They go 1-1 on their West Coast road trip. Now, if you asked me through 3 weeks of the season and you told me the Giants would be 1-2, I would think you're just about right on point. Some people, myself included, thought they could beat Dallas prior to the fact, but we didn't. I was not shocked that we lost that game. 1-2, it's not a terrible place to be. It could be worse. You could be 0-3 considering the way the Giants played in Week 2. But, guys, let's remember, this was a 49ers team that had won 12 straight regular season games, make it 13 now, and the Giants were without starters on offense. 3 of them in particular, Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas, and Ben Bredeson. So you're missing the entire left side of the offensive line and your best offensive weapon. So that left the hole for the Giants. And defensively, they were without Azeez Ojulari, who seems to be hurt just about every single year. And I thought the Giants held their own in the first half. I believe the score at halftime was 17-6, but there were points in that first half where you thought, all right, the Giants might have a shot at this. This might be a one-possession game either way. But unfortunately, that was not the case. For me, the 1-2 record isn't the big deal. The way they lost those 2 games and the way they performed on all 3, for that matter, is the bigger concern here. Let's dive into some statistics and just go over a couple things about the way the Giants played. So 22 of 32 for Daniel Jones through the air. Passed for 137 yards. He had 1 pick. Again, this was a drop pass by Darren Waller, I believe. Sacked twice. Only 2 rushes for 5 yards. The 49ers did a good job applying pressure, whether it was Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Arik Armstead, etc. Matt Breida was not much of a factor. They barely ran the football in this game. 4 rushes for 17 yards and 1 score. Darius Slayton led all receivers with 3 catches for 32 yards. And the Giants inserted Gary Brightwell as their backup running back. We did not see much of Eric Gray on offense. He's the primary kick and punt returner. Plus, Gray has not proven yet that he's worthy of offensive snaps due to his inability to pass protect. He needs to improve in that department. Brightwell had 2 catches for 31 yards. I thought he had a decent outing. Paris Campbell had 6 catches, but just for 24 yards. His issue, he can't get yards after the catch. Everything is underneath right now due to the O-line's inability to protect. And people say, oh, you sound like a broken record. Where's the blame for Daniel Jones? Oh, yeah, there is blame for Daniel Jones. He missed multiple throws in this game that he should have had. But why did he miss them? Why did he miss them? Well, this offensive line is historically bad, even without Mark Lewinsky in there and with the backups in. Wan'Dale Robinson returned to the lineup, had 4 catches for 21 yards. Great to see him back healthy, getting into the mix. But when I look at the offensive line, here's who started on Thursday night. Josh Ezeudu started at left tackle. Shane Lemieux started at left guard over Glowinski, who finished the game at left guard at Arizona. And Lemieux hadn't really played much since 2020. John Michael Schmitz at center. He's been the one mainstay thus far this season, along with right tackle Evan Neal, who continues to be very inconsistent. More bad than good from him at this time. Marcus McKethan, I thought, was pretty okay at right guard. He seems like a guy who will hold that spot, possibly for the rest of the season, depending on what happens. If they go back to Glowinski at one point, if they stick with McKethan, they might want to see what they have in Marcus McKethan. So I would not fault the Giants for starting him the rest of the 2023 season. The Giants couldn't do much running the football. They couldn't protect Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is pressured on 47% of his dropbacks. On his dropbacks alone, this doesn't just include shotgun plays, 3rd and longs. This includes pretty much every single play. Now, I get it. 2 of the first 3 weeks, you went up against 2 of the top defenses in the league, in Dallas and San Francisco, but there's no excuse why the offense looked as bad as it did in the first half against Arizona. And while some fault does have to go to Daniel Jones and the coaching staff, other fault has to go to the offensive line, receivers dropping passes, not proper timing. Again, Daniel Jones needs time to throw the football. Every quarterback does. So in this game, I was not impressed with Daniel Jones, but I thought he did decent enough. Again, he only had 10 incompletions on 32 attempts, and his stats were not horrendous. Again, all those box score people out there, watch the film of this game. You clearly tell the O-line's getting beat on every single play. Jones pretty much has less than 2 seconds to decide what he wants to do. Moving on to the defense, again, missed tackles continues to be a common theme. It's very, very concerning. But one linebacker who's really caught my eye the first 3 weeks has been Micah McFadden. There's been a lot more good than bad with him. 4 tackles for loss, pardon. He did miss multiple tackles, but I will say he has improved a lot since his rookie season. Remember, he was a healthy scratch in the playoff game last year against the Philadelphia Eagles, and now he's back starting, aside Bobby Okereke, who had 9 stops in his own right. One common thing that annoys me with Giants fans, well, I'm going to get into it a little bit right now. Sack numbers, right? So the Giants have had 2 sacks in the first 3 games of the season, but the Giants have the 5th best pass rush win rate in the NFL. Could they argue this is because of blitz frequency? Sure. But realistically speaking, you look historically, Wink Martindale's defenders don't blow it up in the sack department, right? Name one player on that Baltimore defense from 2018 when he was DC to when he left in 2021 that really caught your eye. Like, oh my God, he was great in sacks. Matt Judon, who had 8.5, 9.5, was probably their best one. Leonard Williams looked good this game, had a half sack, his first sack of the season, 6 tackles and 2 QB hits. He was solid. We saw more of Isaiah Simmons. Kayvon Thibodeau had his first sack. DJ Davidson had the other half sack on the one from Big Cat. So, yeah, it was very interesting. I think you want to get pressure on the quarterback to deliver the ball quickly, and you want lockdown corners. That's the theme of this defense, and that's why they drafted Deonte Banks in the first round, who through 3 weeks he's been targeted 13 times, ladies and gentlemen. He's allowed just 52 yards, allowing an elite 8.7 yards per completion. So if he gives up a reception, catch, tackle. That's what it is. Or catch, breakup, right? He's been that good. Brock Purdy did not look good on that first drive. The Giants missed 3 interceptions. There were opportunities there. The defense needs to do better at causing turnovers. They have struggled with that. I don't believe they've caused 1 yet this season. Giants could not convert third downs either against the San Francisco defense. 3 for 12 on third down. Again, just 150 total yards of offense, 10 total first downs for the game, and 6 penalties. Fundamentals, discipline is key if the Giants are going to beat Seattle in week 4 and win more games moving forward. And the Giants defense couldn't get off the field on third down. The 49ers held the ball for 39 total minutes. Sounds a lot like Super Bowl 25, except that went the other way around, of course, in the Giants' favor. Brock Purdy threw for 300 yards. He should not be doing that. McCaffrey, the Giants struggled to stop him. 85 rushing yards, 34 receiving, a score. Deebo Samuel tore up the slot. Again, Adoree Jackson was chasing him down all night long. Xavier McKinney didn't have the best play. Deebo had 130 receiving yards. And then George Kittle as well. George Kittle had 7 catches for 90 yards. So it was very, very impressive. Now, the Giants have 11 days to regroup for Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see what will happen there. The Giants are optimistic they'll get Andrew Thomas and Ben Bredeson both back from injury, so that inserts 2 original offensive line starters. Very excited to preview that one on our live stream this week. Folks, if you like what you watch, make sure to support our sponsor, BetUS. You can sign up with our promo code at JOIN125. Get a 125% sign-up bonus where you can bet on the go anywhere, anytime. That's BetUS, America's #1 favorite sportsbook, where the game begins. Appreciate all the support, everybody. Check us out on all of our social media platforms below. And without further ado, let's go Big Blue.